This is Blythe Baines, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
Inspirado, are you a Mac or PC guy, and why?
Man behind the machine. Every time I think of your name, I think about Bela Lugosi in, I think he was playing from outer space, right? Like in Ed Wood, he's going, pull the string, pull the string. He's the guy, he's the wizard behind the curtain. That is man behind the machine. Like the machine elves, they're moving the gears, they're moving the gears, they're moving it all, they're making it move, making it groove. Am I a Mac or PC guy? I have an iPhone 8. 8, of course, is for infinity. So we'll wait and see if or when I upgrade. Infinity, I've got an infinity phone. The special third eye phone. But I have a laptop that's a PC. So, the thing I don't like about these PCs, these Microsoft concoctions, is that they ask you for your email address and all this stuff. You got to go through there's just a whole thing, of setting up the whole thing. And then Mac, I can imagine, would be the same thing. It's both thrilling and it puts me on the edge of my seat. Thinking about the idea of like just the idea of these clouds, having your phone glued into your computer, and especially with hacking going on around these days, it's just like, gosh, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's nuts. But then again, if I'm going to manifest a reality in my life that, if I choose to manifest a reality where everything is fine, and I live in the parallel universe version of myself that doesn't get hacked into, or that everything's cool with his Mac. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. So I may someday I'm sure I'll have a Mac. I'm sure of it. I'll be getting a computer built soon, so I can handle these large files. So I can use. I was going to use Avid, I think. I want a program that I pay once, that's it. That's all. I don't have to, it's not like a subscription thing. But you just bam, here you go. You pay it once, there it is. And that's what I'm looking for. Right now on this computer, I'm using the Ableton, which I will be diving into to use for this synthesizer that I got, the Minilab MK2. Thanks for calling in. I always appreciate your perspectives. What do you use? Do you use a Mac or a PC, or are you using Linux? I hear a lot of good stuff about Linux. Good morning, everybody. Today is, it's 12:32. Look at that. 32. Wow. 3, 4, 5, 6. 8. That was 8. It's 10/19/2020. Just want to say something very interesting that I discovered. So, I noticed on TikTok, there's this song, and it was funny. It was, I can understand it in many respects. He was talking about how they're saying that TikTok hates effort. It does not reward people for effort. It rewards the women dancing in bikinis with a lot of followers. It rewards, I don't know, dogs pooping, in reference to the amount of likes and stuff like that. So in the song, they're talking about how they worked really hard on this video and they spent all this time. They spent a week, editing this video, and then they put it up and it only got 200 likes. And, TikTok doesn't reward effort. Gosh, there's so many directions I could go in this. First of all, I mean, yeah, okay, I understand. It's a joke. But let's just kind of break it down. TikTok, I mean, I don't know what you're asking TikTok to, like, reward you with more views or more likes. Are they just saying the populace of TikTok? Maybe they're referring to the populace of TikTok. So hard work on something does not equal a lot of attention on it. As we've noticed with Nikola Tesla when he first invented what he invented. Hard work on something. There's this idea that we have to be a tortured artist. That the tortured artist is the one that, that is making true art in life. That a requirement for making art is you've got to go through the gauntlet. You got to go through an arduous journey. Lots of trauma, possibly drug abuse, family issues. It's a requirement. You want to get those badges of honor as an artist, as a musician, as an actor, as a author, etc., etc., etc. You are required ahead of these. There's this romantic idea attached to it of being the starving artist, of having that legacy live on, where people are telling stories about you. It builds character. It builds character. Like, that's the thing you say after, to kind of help cope with dealing with a bunch of stuff throughout your life. That's like something that you say, it adds character. Yeah, that. But going in it with the intention of going, this is going to add character. Like, I'm going to intentionally become a heroin addict, because then I can always have that as a story to tell people. I'm going to break into this house or whatever, just so I have a colored past. That'll look good in the tabloids someday when I become famous. I want that Robert Downey Jr. life. Or you hear about the gals, what was it, a TV show about getting pregnant at a young age? And girls would intentionally get pregnant just so they could be on the TV show. So this idea of rewarding people for effort, just for the sake of effort, boy, I mean, yeah, we would like that. But then, okay, so for instance, if you only got accolades for hard work, that would then become a sought-after thing. Because what goes along with it, it's the accolades that people want. They want the kudos, they want the pats on the back, the high fives, the awards, the ribbons. So if it's like it's a requirement that you've got to have a checkered past, you've got to be you've got to put in your 12 years, your dues of being a tortured artist and living in horrible conditions. Here's a list. Here's a check box. Here are all the different things. If you choose 5 of these, is it abusive relationships? Is it living in squalor in a ghetto or on a skid row? Is it being an alcoholic? Is it being a druggie? Is it living through a house fire? Is it what is it? What's your checkered past? You used to throw lamps through hotel room windows. What is it? What's your checkered past? Choose 5 of these, and then you can really start. You can really earn your ranks. Well, then that becomes now a sought after thing. Hard work. Who's there to quantify the hard workness of it? Is it the more poetic the story coming from the person is, or is it the paper trail that we follow? Are you do you have someone there documenting each and every single thing that you're doing, your personal assistant is required to go, oh, well, he furrowed his brow. Oh, I saw him really furrowing his brow and really, beating himself up over, making this painting. I could tell he worked hard on this thing. He worked hard, This guy made himself sleep on beds of broken glass just so he could, so he knew that he deserved to paint each day. He knew that, he paid his dues. Did he, I don't know what it is. What? The work, the effort. That's something that we're taught at such a young age that you got to, okay, imagine this. So imagine when your goal becomes a sort of concept. It's a never-ending concept. So like, let's say, for instance, in this case, I'll be referring to, let's say you're taught at a young age, work hard. It's respectable to work hard and to make a lot of money and provide for your family. Okay, those sound respectable. It's like, in terms of a goal, like when you say, I'm going to run the marathon. See, that goal has a finish line. It has a, whoop, this is what I'm reaching towards, there's that. A concept is something that just, you could run out of steam trying to keep feeding. What's the barometer for your progress, for how good you're doing at that thing? A concept. Like, work hard. That's a hamster wheel. That goes. So, if someone really did value that much, that means that someone out there is lying on their deathbed who has worked hard their whole life, and they're like, you know what? Life totally sucked. I didn't do anything I really wanted to do. I had to always be on guard, always on competition, always battling with someone about who's the best, who had the better thing, who was stupider, who was smarter, who was more macho, who had more ladies, who played more instruments, who played more shows, who had bigger audiences, whose movie brought in bigger box offices, whose Dow Jones thing is traded at a stock higher than the other stocks. You know what? At least I did that. I'm going to die with satisfaction. Now I can die with satisfaction. Maybe there is someone. Maybe that's their consolation prize. If they have nothing else to die with as a memory in their brain, maybe that's the thing that they try to cope with. Rewarding hard work. What about rewarding inspiring work? Inspiring work. Rewarding hard work is such an egotistical thing. I guess inspiring, to want to be inspiring, to what end? Maybe it's more honorable depending on what kind of degree we're talking here with inspiration. I want to inspire people so everybody knows my name, that I'm the one that inspired them. Well, that's an egotistical thing. I want to inspire people to paint more. And please give me feedback on that. Are you painting more? Are you, I want to inspire people to start making more music with the apps that they have on their phones. Oh, how cool is that? And inspiration, I want to unlock doors of the world around me. What about, I want to be satisfied in every moment, making what I love making, having fun with it, not expecting anything in return, and then getting my feelings hurt because I was expecting this audience to like my work because I put so much effort into it. Yeah, we find it unfair that the girls in the bikini videos are, as I've come to learn, thirst trap, which I've been thinking about making a documentary about thirst trap. These thirst traps. What are the various ones? We know about the obvious ones. the thumbnails that are of, you see that opening shot of a girl with her cleavage pressed up to the screen. That's sort of, I guess now it's kind of a household word like Kleenex, like Kardashian. That's sort of like that. Can you be authentic in becoming more unauthentic, becoming more unlike yourself? Are you becoming more authentic? And by adding more and more plastic surgery, or just being, famous for, whether it's a sex tape or just having good cleavage, it's a puzzling thing. Each thing has a message, doesn't it? What's the intention behind the message? What's the motivation behind that message? When you know that there's a certain, like when you eat chocolate, these are the tastes that you're probably going to get. There's the smell of chocolate, there's the taste of chocolate. A chocolate cake created just to be admired. It's like, it's kind of like just to be admired. Huh. Wow. Yeah, so putting effort doesn't reward effort. Some of the best songs that have been created out there in the world were not much effort at all, were they? It wasn't much effort. Does that mean that their art form is less respectable? See? And then there are different layers to this kind of thing. So it's like the people who came up, let's say, I don't know. Is Weird Al Yankovic any less respectable than, let's say, Leonard Cohen or Tom Waits? Or, how do you judge authenticity? How do you judge if inspiration makes you feel good about yourself and gives you excitement and bringing out more of what you love and being in that groove and being a representative of, touching that source energy. If that's what that is, to then bring out more, to be a beacon, bring out more in others so they can learn to sing in front of people, release their creations. It's interesting. I went to, so my buddy Naaman passed away. I've featured him on this podcast before. I've had him on the radio show, K-Chung, which, by the way, we're going to start that back up. I'm going to start concocting 1-hour episodes to then a variety hour. Basically, that'll be on the first and third Mondays, 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so I'm going to learn how to do that. Kitty. Little man. So that'll start up. One thing I noticed about Naaman, he was very prolific. He continually fed his inspirations, continually fed his immediate desires to explore music. So fascinating to meet the various people that were at his memorial. Met his mom and 2 of his sisters. Met his best friends. I met people who met him through just like there was a girl there who used to work at a coffee shop, and Naaman would go in there and read his poetry and play music. And she said they just formed this wonderful community. And she was the only one of those friends who was able to make it out. But it was just great to hear that story. And then to go back afterwards to the cousin's house, to hang out with the family and the friends, talk with these guys. His cousin told me an extraordinary idea for... I'm not even going to tell a piece of it. Extraordinary idea for a project. And I came to learn from his mom that Naaman apparently... Because I came to learn that the parents were separated. Naaman shared his father's last name. His mom had a different name. I think his sister shared the mom's last name. I'm not sure. But she told me that Naaman, she goes, yeah, Naaman was in a gang. He was in the Crips, just like his dad. I thought, whoa. So it's interesting when you get to see these worlds, that you yourself did not grow up in. She said, yeah, his dad, he was in the Crips, just like his dad. He sold drugs. And then the little sister was born, and the mom said everything changed. Naaman stopped with the gang stuff, and his little sister became his world. And he bought her all the diapers, every food formula she needed. And he'd always sing to her, "Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be all right." He had this big hair, tall guy. It's so interesting because in that song, it sounds like it goes, "Naaman, don't worry. Naaman, don't worry about a thing." It was so cool to see all these photos of him growing up throughout all those years. That's always such a startling thing when you see... And it was an open casket. It's been a while since I saw an open casket. He had cut his hair. Last time I saw him, he had his big hair. And that was so crazy to see an open casket again. And then the casket was being shipped off. He was to get him cremated. I played one of his songs on a slideshow. A couple of slideshows there. And I brought a thumb drive with 10 of his songs and then the interview that we had with him on the radio show. I put those on a thumb drive, gave it to the family. I figured they probably, could get a hold of songs. He had other writing partners there, but who knows what pieces he shared with who. And I'm trusting they'll be able to open up his laptop, get in there, and get those other songs, get the hard drives, get out the other songs. Wow. His little sister told me, I was talking with her and I found out what she likes. I was like, do you do music and stuff? She's like, oh yeah, me and Charlie, Naaman's best friend, who Naaman frequently made music with. She's like, me and Charlie made our first song. She's like, I'll email it. I said, email it to me. She goes, okay. I go, actually, play it for me now. Do you have it? She's like, yeah. I go, play it for me. And so she played it. It was great. She's got a great voice. It's just it's almost like hypnotic, just relaxed, just very relaxed. I mean, considering the subject matter. It kind of me a little bit about like Peaches, but just not that genre, if you want to call it that. Well, I'll just say not the, the stuff she writes about, but it had that kind of like just saying it. No showboating. It's very hypnotic. So I got to get a hold of her. I think that's what I'll do. Wow, as I'm saying this out loud, I'm thinking I'm going to put her song onto the radio show. I'll play her song. I'll play one of Damon's. I'll play one of hers. I'll most likely get something from Brian DeVille. Something from Forgotten Tales, who you've heard here. He does the TSA stuff. I'll just bring in anyone that I've come across so far. I could put in snippets, man. I could get an hour long of some of the interesting podcasts that I've done, actually. But that's the thing. It's like, do I want the podcast to exist as their own special thing? Do I want to introduce? See, this is a way to introduce the radio audience to the podcast. So it's a way to bridge the gap. See, look, these are some of the shenanigans. These are the people who call in. Yeah, you yourself can call in. So, the next time that you think that you got to be tortured when you create your art, think again. Everyone's got their method. Some people love Jackson Pollock. Do you know who Jackson Pollock is? He's an artist who is famous. Look him up. Jackson Pollock. Pollok, I think. Or ACK, Pollack. Pollock. Oh, God, that really good guy. That good guy in Westworld. That guy, he's really good. The Man in Black. Ed Harris plays him. And Jackson Pollock, his painting style is throwing paint down onto a canvas. Really thick oil paint. And you know how long it takes for oil paint to dry? A very long time. For those of you if you haven't heard about this, and I'm telling you first of all, I feel honored to tell you this. Oil paint takes a very long time to dry. A lot of the guys back in the day, they painted with oil paint. And then I'm sure at some point that's why acrylic paint got invented, because they're like, man, I don't want to wait 3 months for this coat to dry. I want to paint, on top of it immediately. So then you got acrylic, which dries faster, which has like a rubbery, plasticky vibe about it. So Jackson Pollock would just flick paint onto a canvas. If you talk to, let's say, I don't know, Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci, would those guys even consider like that? That's what's so funny, you guys. One person's trash is another person's fortune. I like to say it that way. One person's trash is another person's fortune. You've heard that, right? One person's trash is another person's treasure. One person's doodle is another person's genius. So, it's all in perspective. It's like, how much are you going all in on that thing? Are you apologetic about your art? Chances are your audience is not going to go all in on what you have to give, what you have to offer. If you're not going all in on it, and I mean your authenticity. I'm not saying hard work. I'm saying the authenticity. All in on giving yourself over to the inspiration. Are you going all in on going, I don't know what this is, and I'm not required to explain it. I don't know what this is, but I'm getting tickled by this, man. This is awesome. Bam, I'm putting this forth. Salvador Dali, if he was apologetic or disingenuous, yikes. You'd call that out a mile away. Oh, that's a poser. You can see a poser. You've heard the term poser. It's just giving yourself over to what it is. What it is. Some people give themselves over to the demons. That's why they get tortured for their art. They're letting the demons push them around. Others, you give it into the enlightened, the satisfying, the lightening up. The enlightened ones are you lighten up. You lighten up. Why are there such high-minded concepts? Well, you're lighten up. When you lighten up, you float up to those heights. You give yourself into that. You allow that opportunity to exist through you. So, folks like Salvador Dali, I don't know if he could live with himself knowing that he ever made a painting that was, just, it took little effort. Maybe Jackson Pollock is putting a lot of effort into it. One person might think that, those are just, he's just standing there going flip, flip, flip. Maybe Jackson Pollock is just angry as he's throwing that paint down. Maybe he's just like, really aggressive with it. Maybe he's like, he's drunk out of his brain. He's like, and he's just, flicking it. This here, let's dribble some of this here. Blah, 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 blah. Let's take a toothbrush over here. You ever done that? Put paint on a toothbrush and you go, you can see some cool stuff on there. People might look at the spinner art and go, what? That's ridiculous. Other people absolutely love it. You can't ostracize you can't by it's see that's the weird crazy thing we're getting ourselves into. By saying that's stupid that art exists, now we're saying that that's stupid for the populace that likes that thing, but there's something in it that might remind them of something that's personal to them in some way or another. It's such a crazy, strange, objective thing. Some people are huge into learning as much as they can about trees and plants and flowers and insects. Are they any less? I mean, is that stupid of them? Should they be spending more time learning about baseball statistics? Now are they smarter? Now are they part of the cool crowd? Maybe they should spend more time researching their cultural identity and how persecuted their people were throughout their times, and then now that becomes their identity. Is that going to be the thing that helps? Is that going to be the thing that they want to be applauded for? Dragging around the past? Do they want to be known for dragging around the future? The H.G. Wells's dragging around the future. Oh, geez, again, H.G. Wells again with the future stuff. Oh my gosh, why are you trying to turn us all into visionaries? Why, H.G. Wells? Oh no, at it again. He's dragging us through the future. Why can't he just drag us through his past trauma like everybody else? Come on, H.G. Pollock, what are you doing? That's not respectable. Oh, God, you're just putting dots on a canvas, man. Different colors. Sometimes only black and white. Oh, gosh. What are you doing, Pollock, you stupid idiot? You should be over here belaboring every little minuscule detail that you're putting down on the canvas. Pollock! Shaking the fist in the air. Pollock! How dare you get away with it? Because then there's that jealousy, there's that ego going, okay, these people are buying his canvases. He's not putting any effort into it. Millions of dollars, what? I put millions of hours, and my canvases are only selling for $250. That one took 13 years. That's not fair. Damn you, Pollock. Well, and then to the person who is his personal assistant, or the person who is his wife, or his girlfriend, or his, roommate, they'd go, no, you have no idea that he was a tortured soul. You have no idea what he went through to make those paintings. What you don't see is all the layers underneath, which he used his own blood. He dripped his own blood on those canvases. He's got human blood. He's got human blood on those canvases, and then he covered it all up in paint. You don't know the half of it. What he went through to make those paintings. So now the other person who made the accusation, now they feel bad. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I spoke too soon. I'm sorry. I don't know what he went through. But that's... Okay. I guess his trauma is better than the traumatic events I went through. At least my traumatic events I went through are far greater than that guy's over there, okay? Okay, that guy's over there. Mine aren't better than his. Mine are better than his. I mean, yeah, he put 23 years into making that painting. But at least he didn't have to live in a basement with no air conditioning. You know? I had it worse off than he did. He lived in an attic. At least he had a window. I know it was 110 up there, but at least he had a window. Come on, give me some slag here. Please, reward me, please. I want the award. I want the ribbon. I want to win the grand prize. It's funny, I think about this idea sometimes about people who... I understand earning an award. I understand that idea of earning an award. I understand that. There's that payoff, that retribution. I put so much work into this. Bam. You know, I get this, and now this makes it worth it. You know, I was going unnoticed. Nobody was seeing what I was doing. Oh, seeing what you were doing. What were you doing? What kind of cool stuff were you doing? Oh my gosh, what have I been missing all along? The ailments, the cures for the ailments of humanity. What were you cooking up over there? What inspiring books were you writing that could help people get over these humps, get over these struggles, get over this trauma, just go to be better people? What were you doing over there? Help us, help us lean in and see. Oh, well, there were paintings, of course, of pigs on clouds. Good. I can see that will inspire people. Well, I can imagine that. Were they smiling? Did they look pleasant? Maybe for an uplifting heart? No. These were slaughtered pigs on clouds. Oh, and I put 23 years into making those slaughtered pigs on clouds look realistic, dripping their blood down on the people below. Humanity. And oh, okay. Well, okay. What effect were you expecting the pop? I want people to feel the sins and to feel terrible about what they've done to these pigs. Okay, so that's your end game. That's the end game. Well, yeah, people deserve to feel crappy for what they... Okay, I understand. You want to draw attention to this thing. Okay, you want to draw attention to this thing, you want people to know. Well, yeah, and I want them to know that I was the one that brought their attention to it. Oh, I see. So there's really the hidden agenda. You want to be known as the guy who paints the shocking paintings with the slaughtered pigs on the clouds. Okay, I got it. What if you were known for the guy with the smiling pigs on the clouds that are happy, the ones that are, the ones that are still alive, the ones that can still inspire us? What if you put smiling clouds on those pigs? And oh my gosh, you could be known as that guy, and then they can share those pictures with their kids, and then kids will know you at a very early age as that, and they all get a good feeling about that. Oh my God, I can imagine the t-shirts now. No way, are you kidding me? No. It's gotta be the blood in the guts, otherwise they're not getting the message. Otherwise they're not feeling the torture and the guilt. Oh, okay. Like I have to go through each and every time I paint it. did you personally? So you grew up so you must have grown up on a farm where you had a family that slaughtered pigs. No. Oh, you must have worked on a. No, you crazy? I wouldn't go near one of those things. Oh, so you must. Well, so why does it torture you? Why do you feel the need to? Because I read a book about this, and now I think everybody needs to know. Okay. So have you ever gone to see what goes on with this rat? No! The book was enough, I'm telling you. Oh. Okay. So that's your part in humanity. That's your virtuous. Look, man, I want everyone to know that I'm the guy. I know, I get it. Okay, all right. So you want people to feel that feeling every time they think of you. They feel that feeling and they associate that with you. They associate that vibe with you. That sad, tortured feeling, knots in the pits of their stomach, headaches, migraines, nightmares. You want them to associate that vibe, that mood with you. I'm telling you, I want to be famous. I want people to know that I'm the guy. Okay. Gotcha. What if I told you that you can, you could, you've ever heard the phrase like getting people with, like, what is that, the bees or the flies with the honey instead of the vinegar? Yeah, man. Of course I did. Okay. So would you be okay with feeling like you were inspiring people to be good about themselves, to think good, to think about pigs in a favorable light? So every time I think of pigs, they think of them as these smart creatures that we always read about, as these playful little, like crows and just a smart little animal. Wouldn't you want to drive people in that direction to think about, maybe even wanting to get a pet pig, wanting to, maybe they stop eating bacon, maybe they, no, man, they'll stop eating the bacon, and when they see my paintings of their slaughtered pigs, and they'll go, oh, that's what my bacon is made of. The slaughtered pigs. Well, yeah, but it might turn people off, you see. It might turn them off from your quest, from your mission to because, look, you could put happy pigs on the clouds. I'm telling you, you could put happy pigs on the clouds. This would inspire the people. But I spent 23 hours making this. Well, what if you spent less... what if you spent less time making it? What if I told you it wasn't necessary to put all that time into it? If you were inspired, you put the happy pigs on the clouds. What if you did 4 or 5 of those paintings? You put those vibes into those, good vibes into those paintings. Why do you feel it made you feel so tortured? Because, man, it grosses me out, the stuff that I'm painting. Well, is that necessary? Look at what's going on. Yeah, man, I'm getting nightmares well, look what it's doing to your brain, your mentality. Is your mentality important to you? Yeah. Okay, well, do you like to feel satisfied? Like when you eat a good meal and it hits the spot, like, oh my God, that's so satisfying. Yeah, I know what that means. Okay, so would you like that feeling to be transferred over to other aspects of your life? Like your art, your conversations that you have with people, no, I gotta scream through a megaphone. Everybody's gotta know about this. Well, sometimes when people hear the screaming and the yelling, it turns them off. They don't want to. It's like everybody's screaming and yelling. I don't want to hear any more about that. What if it was something tantalizing, something that they wanted to see? Well, then you're watering down what the issue is here, man. I'm not saying you're watering anything down. But don't you feel there's plenty of literature out there? Like, there's a lot of stuff out there that's bringing people to that. You could supplement that. You could supplement it with the good vibes. And people, then they talk like good about you. They're not like, oh no, it's that guy again who's screaming and yelling. He's going to bring these slaughtered pigs on the clouds. Here he comes again. We're about to go eat. I don't know. Here comes this dude. Here comes this guy. And then there are people who might act just out of spite. A lot of times you tell someone, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, then they do it. We always know about this. All of us have done that as kids. We go through that rebellious phase. Screw authority. And, what are ways to get the message across without having to scream, yell, point them towards what a solution is. Point people towards what is a way to help, get out of it. Rather than constantly talking to people who are, telling them what they're lacking or what they missed or what's wrong. Just go, look. I noticed that you have some holes. You feel some holes in you. You feel some emptiness. You feel some sadness. You feel some incompleteness. Would you like to know aspects or tools or videos or, information that could help you feel good and not suicidal? It's like I talked to a friend of mine was suicidal. She still is, I think. She's got a kid. She's the sister of two of my really good friends that I grew up with. We used to brainstorm all the time. I remember her. She's a great brainstormer. I was on Facebook and she was on there and she's like, just want to say goodbye to you because tomorrow I might not be here. I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Are you going off the grid? What's happening? And she's like, I'm just tired of it because her mom recently died. Her brother tried committing suicide twice. The other brother said he's not going to talk to the family anymore. This girl that I'm referring to, she has a daughter that's with her sister. There's just like, she's an alcoholic. This girl that I'm talking about. So she calls up a lot of times when she's, let me back up. She was on Facebook. I saw that and I said, call me. Let's talk. Because I was going to try to get her mind off this thing. I said, but first watch these. And I sent her some videos. I try to send her videos of people just farting or laughing, to kind of get her mind, like, jar it. It's misdirection. You're like, okay, boop, it's going to interfere this pattern. We're going to get you kind of thinking more. We're going to tip you, kind of knock you off the track here, try to get you thinking more in a positive light. So as I was talking to her, I just kept distracting her with questions about her imagination and like things that she's created. And then I just sort of like invented a character. Like she said something and then I riffed off it and I just started chuckling to myself. I'm like, oh my God, that sounds like a character. And then we just start brainstorming this character. We just start creating this character. And it was great. And we were laughing and we were coming up with like the characters' friends' names and all this stuff. And so she felt good. What was weird was during the time she's laughing, she's like, stop it. I'm supposed to be, I'm supposed to be trying to kill myself here, Stop making me laugh. And I'm sitting there and it's like, okay, so wait, you prefer to feel like crap? I don't get it. I don't understand. What a strange oxymoron is that? In order to feel good, I got to feel bad. So no, don't make me laugh. Don't get me out of the state of mind where I feel so crappy about myself that I want to kill myself. Don't get me out of the state of mind. And it was just like such a weird thing. So I just kept, I kind of took her out of this thing, and I was just trying to get her, into this mindset of viewing her for herself up close, how powerful her imagination is. And how smart she is, and the value that she has, and her, that her contributions to society matter. her contributions to herself, to her own sanity matter. And so it's a tricky thing. It's like we forget sometimes that we can give ourselves permission to change our mood. It's like it's an extended mood that we're like, you're wallowing in. And maybe there's this idea that maybe you don't want, maybe you're not giving respect. Like, let's say, for instance, if you're feeling sad, like if you're not crying about a dead loved one, if you're not crying enough about them or feeling enough grief, then you should be guilty. You should feel bad about yourself. Shame on you for not grieving longer or deeper or harder or worse than these people grieving. It's like, where's the time limit? Where at what point do you move forward? At what point do you give yourself permission to go, all right, you know what? I'm tired of that mood. Let's go to another one. What are some elements that help me achieve this other mood? Happiness, satisfaction. So, yeah, it was tricky talking with her. But just remember, if you truly don't want to be tortured, like Albert Einstein says, we can't solve the problem within the problem. So, if we ever want to change our mood, sometimes it's good to get out of the environment, go to a different, place. Obviously, talk to someone on the phone that makes you feel good about yourself. Not someone that competes or is always putting you down, making you feel bad about yourself. That's just not a real friend. It's someone who, cares about you, someone who enjoys your conversations together, someone who, makes you laugh or that you can share some funny memories with. I know when we're grieving about our loved ones, we want to be able to share those memories. There's that feeling maybe we don't respect them enough if we're not sharing those memories, or that it's not, valid enough unless there's a group of people wallowing in that type of thing. And I understand that feeling of wanting to be in that togetherness, remembering this specific event or person. I understand that. But as that's happening, all this other kick-ass stuff is just passing us by. All these wonderful opportunities. All these untapped abilities. All these extraordinary directions that could bring about enlightenment and pleasurable discoveries. Anyway, thanks for listening to Inspirado Projecto. If you'd like to contribute to this podcast, call up 561-203-9179. You can leave a message on the hotline. Or if you find this Inspirado Projecto on Anchor, you can leave a message on there. Also, if you're on Anchor, let's be friends. Find me. Let's be friends. Leave me a message, and then I'll share you with the world. Stay tuned, folks. Next episode, we are going to be interviewing two extraordinary guys who were involved with creating Mesmer and Braid, the Mesmer and Braid ARG, alternate reality game that accompanied Hollow Vista, the Hollow Vista app, which you got to check out, Hollow Vista. Steve Peters and Nick Tierce. So those two guys, they brought together the entire Mesmer and Braid. I had a 2-hour conversation with these guys. I'm going to break it down into 2 episodes. There's so much information in there. Such a great education about alternate reality games. Oh, my God. If you've ever played Dungeons and Dragons, that's what an alternate reality game is. It's like LARPing. It's like LARPing and yet extended. You know, it's like an extended LARP into all kinds of multimedia. Some call it transmedia LARP. Yeah, that'll be coming out next episode. Thanks for listening to Inspirado Projecto. Take care. Stay inspired.
Hi, Inspirado. This is Garrett Busey. One more time here. I don't know if it went through the last time, but I really think that I could play the role of the 17-year-old who gets to hump all those older lady vampire zombie people. I'd like to audition. Here we go. Hey, you zombie bitch. Get off my junk. I'm only 17. I'm Garrett Busey. I'm only 7. I'm trying to stay pure. Trying to stay pure as much as 100% Colombian flake. I'm Gary Busey. Come on, Inspirado Projecto, cast me in your movie. It's Gary Busey.
It's Superhero, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.